Americans love libraries. Public libraries represent the heart and soul of a community. They serve as human gathering places, welcoming all. The essential American values of intellectual freedom, freedom to read, and your right to privacy are embedded in the American Public Library. Our belief that we can be anything we want to be, that the entire frontier is still open to us, has no greater symbol than the public library. For 200 years, Americans have found their way out of poverty, ignorance, and parochialism through public libraries. And despite the predictions that the library will become obsolete and replaced by digitized information on the internet, communities all across the United States are renewing their love of public libraries. New libraries have been built in San Francisco, Phoenix, Chicago, Denver, and San Antonio. In Tompkins County, New York, the tiny village of Newfield renovated and expanded its library. The Ulysses Philomathic Library in Trumansburg moved into its new library in 2001, and the Tompkins County Public Library opened the doors of its new library at the end of 2000. This story is about how a community created a vision for a new library and saw its dream come true. Before the Tompkins County Public Library could finally close its doors on its old site, it had one more thing to do. The huge oil portrait of its founder, Ezra Cornell, had to be removed from its place of prominence over the circulation desk and taken to conservators in Skaneateles, New York, for cleaning and restoration. The story of the new Tompkins County Public Library starts in 1863 when Ezra Cornell chartered the Cornell Public Library. Cornell deeply believed that a free public library would be useful in increasing the knowledge and elevating the moral and religious standards of the people.
December 1866, the Cornell Library opens its doors on the corner of North Tioga Street and East Seneca Street. Ezra Cornell's gift to the citizens of Tompkins County stands for nearly a century. February 1969, the Tompkins County Public Library opens its doors on the corner of North Cayuga Street and West Court Street in the city of Ithaca. During the next 30 years, increased usage of the facility, the need for more shelf space, and the need for better access and parking became increasing priorities.
The answer wasn't clear until the Woolworth site became a viable opportunity. Once it became a viable opportunity, it began to look as if the spreadsheets began to say things that we hadn't heard before. Things that said, well, it is cost effective to do it, that we have enough space, that even though programmatically we're not getting nearly as much space, or we're not getting exactly as much space as we had wanted, because of the large open area, that it is possible to make do and to create a brilliant facility within the space, within the box, that will satisfy our programmatic needs for an extended period of time. When did I believe that it was possible? When I saw Janet Steiner in action is when I believed that it was possible that the library could have a new and or renovated home.
Oh, thank you. This is very nice of you. I sort of with Terry on this. I think there was a happy confluence of a lot of things that made it possible.
I look at the development of these projects as, unless the project is truly worthy, having all those other elements really will not generate a project for you. Being awash in cash, having the right personalities involved with enough time to be able to accomplish it. It really takes the development of that program piece to say the project has to happen. And I believe that, you can look at the economic times in which the project was built and say that, maybe there was a feeling within the community that it is the right time to do it because of the economic condition. But I really believe that you have to look back at it and say that people were ready for the library to take a leap forward because it had been stagnant in its development, both from a technological standpoint and a facility standpoint.
However, the acquisition of the Woolworth site was not without controversy. Owner Dave Abbott received criticism from those who expected him to do more to market it for retail use, and the county was criticized for potentially removing the site from the tax rolls.
I had a phone call from a lovely lady, Mrs. Park, who wanted to see me and said, "I'd like to meet you at the store." So Rosemary and I went down, she came in, and Rosemary and I was leaning toward going along with the library for two reasons. Her reason was that we'd have such a capital gains tax to pay that the difference would be negligible. And secondly, she felt that that would be an ideal spot for the library. And she and Dorothy Park were getting along pretty famously at that stage.
Well, you know that the Park family comes from the communications business. They owned newspapers, they owned radio and television stations, and it's a family that for a long time has understood the tremendous power of both the written and the spoken word. So with their strong interest in communications and a strong belief in the value of literacy, the public library was a natural place to put some park money, and everyone and the board was aware of the fact that there were needs at the library that were not being met in the old facility.
Mm-hmm. At this point, the Park Foundation stepped in with an offer to purchase the building and give it to the county for the use of the library. This $2.5 million gift reduced the cost for an expanded new library to $6.9 million, roughly half of the other alternatives. The County Board of Representatives voted in September 1999 to accept the offer and proceed with seeking bids for the design of the new library. That night, it really hit me. It was going to happen. We had a building, a site, and we were about to get architects.
Were there any doubts at the time throughout the process?
Not after you showed us those beautiful Kansas City photos. I think that that made a big impact on the board because it was another big box store that had been converted into a beautiful, beautiful public facility. So I think that we had some faith in the library staff and the board and also any architects that might be hired. And Mrs. Park especially, I think, always could see the possibilities in this particular building.
For 2 years, we had studies done of, first of all, what was the space problem, what were the space needs, what would we need for 20 years. We had a library improvement committee that was chaired by Nancy Schuler, and we had consultant reports, and then we had public meetings about the consultant reports, and we had meetings with the consultants and the trustees and the county board members all in one room. Then some of the alternatives began to shake out, and some of these concepts were beginning to dawn on people, and I think if we tracked all of the meetings, you could see the evolution of the thinking and how people concluded what conclusions they came to. All of those designs got floated back to committees, and we shared them with the general public, and we got ideas. And that whole track of the library building and all the different groups that met one after the other was happening at the same time that there was a parallel track here that we were also looking at fundraising for the new library.
Hello and welcome to all of our friends. Maybe this isn't all of our friends, but it's a great turnout and it's a great day.
I'm really glad that the kids from Beverly J. Martin School are here because they probably more than anybody else understand the word imagination.
I think it's a wonderful time capsule. The students here today were also given sleeping time capsules for their own use, and we've asked them to write out some thoughts about the library on some acid-free paper to be placed into the time capsule.
Hooray! Hooray!
This is great. In September, you are going to have a ball.
It's now October. Everything was very exciting, Terry. It was the most exciting day of my life.
Did you give a raise?
That was wonderful. It's what we've always dreamed about doing, is being in this facility and being able to cheer on the construction. And the only better day that I can imagine is the day we all move in and the staff seemed really thrilled. They had been through a how to move session at the library this morning, and they were ready. They're ready. We're all ready. This can't go fast enough.
This is a good news day. The official launch of the renovation project, the launch of a capital campaign for the library, and now perhaps the best news. It is my pleasure to announce that of the $1 million goal set by the Library Foundation Board, $500,000 has already been pledged. We have 100% participation in giving from the library's foundation and trustee boards, as well as of the library's, Friends of the Library's executive board. These include Seth Burchard, Janet Steiner, the McClaffertys, Fran Raymond, Time Warner Cable, Wegmans, Tompkins County Trust Company, M&T Bank, and Borg Warner. A new public library does not present itself to a community very often. This once-in-a-generation opportunity to create a new library, one which will enhance both our sense of place as well as our pride of place.
The building of a new public library in the Woolworth building in downtown Ithaca is something that we feel is very important for the revitalization of the downtown. It's something we're very excited about. The library needs to stay in the center of the urban core of the city of Ithaca so that the constituents who live, or the people that live in the city who walk various places have access to the library. It's still in a location that's easily accessible by car as well. And with an expanded parking facility next to the library, it makes it that much easier for any county resident to go to the new Tompkins County Public Library.
Once we realized that we might actually have a new public library, so many people contributed to the vision. The adjectives that we used over and over again were welcoming, friendly, warm, inviting, and spacious. We envisioned natural light, comfortable seating, and lots of space for new technology. So much of what works in this new library is the result of spectacular architects from Quinlivan, Pirrick, and Krause. I don't think the library trustees ever lost faith, and our library users were behind us all the way. I think the library staff were the last to actually believe that something was going to happen, that we were about to build the library of the future. Actually, the day after the county bought the building and the county owned it, the first group of people that I wanted to see go into that building were the staff. And so we had opened up the doors one morning between 8 and 9. It was immense. It was gigantic. It was this big space without any merchandise in it, without any shelving for the merchandise. And I remember people wandering around going, "Oh my gosh, this place is huge." And the restaurant was still there, and people still thought we should have a coffee shop. And so the reaction of being in that building as it goes through its various metamorphosizing has been really fun. So I remember that day very specifically. We just rattled around in there. The architects went through it several times trying to get a feeling for what was going to happen. Then the demolition began, and began to take out those benches in the restaurant and take down the pharmacy and take down the ceilings. And then as walls began to go up and you began to get a sense of the feel of the space, to me it seemed important for people to be able to come in and get that. So again, the staff to me, who are going to have to live there and spend many, many hours in that building, I think deserve to see it. And we offered them several opportunities to go through. We had the library launch there on that day, but we also had tours. We took through trustees, we took through foundation members, we took through donors. There's a lot of excitement. There are also people who don't want to go through a construction site, who don't get it, and told me they don't want to see it till it's all done, which is fine. They don't quite, space is hard to sort of imagine. The Ezra Cornell Reading Room represents our vision that we wanted a very traditional space for quiet reading, research, and study. a quiet oasis in an urban environment. We saw footstools, live plants, oriental rugs, and here they are. We imagined small study rooms. We wanted a reference desk that was high on one side for quick questions and a more personal and confidential side for more in-depth questions. Our vision for the Youth Services Department also began with low expectations. All we wanted was more space. Then we began to improve on that. Rocking chairs and a place for teens and kids' bathrooms. I think the architects added a lot to the vision of what could happen for children since they had small children. The trellis, the colors, the carpet, the wall of windows. Eugenia Brieva, Connie Brace, Carly Hansen, and Teresa Crook shared our vision and added to it.
This is the Borg Warner Community Room.
Naming spaces after the people or corporations who donate money for them is no question becoming the trend. It's strange seeming. It seems strange to me. It's odd. And yet, if we're encouraging organizations like the library to work in partnership with the private sector, then that's part of what you have to do. Mm-hmm. It's not the Coca-Cola Library, it's the Tompkins County Library. Mm-hmm. But within that space, I think acknowledging the tremendous gifts that members of the private sector are giving to this public facility, not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, the major donor to the whole project was the Park Foundation, and they did not ask to have anything named after them. They didn't ask for the building to be named after them. In Rochester, the Rochester Public Library is the Bosch and Lamb building of the Rochester Public Library in honor of the gift that their corporate gift. So the parks will be honored here and with a very small plaque.
Yes, and so they should be. It was a remarkably generous and thoughtful thing for them to do for this community. The fact that the library fundraising campaign has been so successful suggests that people care about making this facility the best it can possibly be. When the county agreed to fund it and to do the renovations, we're trying to save as much money as possible because it's taxpayer dollars and there are so many other pressing needs. But for the community to come and supplement a lot of that expense with their own money suggests that there's a lot of pride.
A set of spreadsheets prepared by Jim Caicedo, senior civil engineer for Tompkins County, provided lawmakers with an opportunity to compare the costs of various options, not only for actual design and building, but also showed the cost to operate and maintain each option. Additional staffing was always included in the cost projections along with library technology so that there were no unpleasant surprises once a decision was made. The numbers that we provided early on have proven themselves to be quite accurate. In a project of this size, having reliable and credible data contributed to the success of the project. Another report comparing Tompkins County Public Library with other libraries of similar circulation relied heavily on comparative data. The Library 2020 report indicated that the library was below average in staffing, hours open, inventory, and number of library users. This report underlined the need for the county to increase its support for the library and move ahead with a new facility.
November 10, 2000, 5 p.m. The Tompkins County Public Library's last day of service at 312 North Cayuga Street. The doors are closed and locked, and the big move begins with the help of volunteers and library staff, family and friends, along with hired professional movers. It takes 10 days to complete the entire move. November 20th, 2000, 10 a.m. Tompkins County Library reopens at its new building at 101 East Green Street. With a blast of confetti from the rooftop and the presentation of a large library card by Library Director Janet Steiner to the first patron who enters, Justin Marcus, the library continues service in downtown Ithaca.
Well, I wasn't here when the old library was being used, so I really can't compare it, but this is amazing. I was impressed when I came in. I just moved to Ithaca, and I found this library to be very welcoming, and it's spacious, and there's plenty of places to study or read or just use the internet. It's amazing.
I think the staff has done a superb job of bringing this online, and it's a wonderful facility. And I hope the community and the residents of Tompkins County wear it out. I really do.
This is a central library for everyone to use, and it's obvious that it's being used to the fullest.
Welcome to all of you. I'm Marty Shapiro. I'm the former president of the Board of Trustees of the Tompkins County Public Library. I'm delighted to welcome all of you here for the official dedication of this wonderful building. Throughout the process, we have had the support of the Tompkins County Board of Representatives. As you know, the library receives about 70% of its funding from the Tompkins County government.
They're ready to unveil the dedication plaque and to officially declare this library open.
It's no accident that this dedication ceremony is taking place on the Avenue of the Friends, as you can all see. This corridor is the main spine of the library, just as the Friends of the Library have been the spine of the Tompkins County Public Library for over 50 years. Long before the creation of the Library Foundation, who we'll hear from in a few minutes, the Friends of the Library have provided the major and for many years the only private financial support for the library.
We wouldn't be standing here in this building without the enormous generosity of the Park Foundation. Thank you to all of the members of the Park Foundation for their help in bringing this about. I direct your attention again to the back of the room, to Rose and to Ron, who can now unveil the physical proof of the campaign committee's successful efforts. Our donor board listing 1,600 names of donors.
Thank you so much, Ron, and thank you also so much, Rose. I just want to say a little personal word about Rose. In all my dealings, of course, I've worked with just wonderful people, and I especially want to note that Rose Beta is one of those wonderful people. She's been right there at the beginning, working hard, giving unstintingly of her time and effort, and her wise counsel has been very much appreciated. I just wanted to pull her out of the many, many hundreds of people who work so hard, because I really think she's been a leader as far as the campaign went this year, and I think to a large extent she's the one that got it all going. So thank you, Rose. So standing or floating or perhaps today flying, please applaud the work of the library staff and its absolutely magnificent director, Janet Steiner.
Thank you, Marty. Buildings take ideas, money, and work, but somebody has to literally match our needs with the site and design the space. And when we look around this beautiful building, you can see why I say that we have been blessed with wonderful architects. Quinlan, Pierce, and Krause of Syracuse can take full responsibility for this building. Eugenia Bravia, Connie Brace were the lead architects. Carly Hansen and Teresa Crook were the head designers, and they are here today. But our celebration is not just about physical space and personal achievement. Today is a day to celebrate the fact that this community has reaffirmed its belief in the power of a public library. Public libraries continue to be treasured by Americans. Our joy comes from knowing that our generation is leaving a wonderful legacy to the next generation of readers. Once upon a time, a library gave something to us, and now we want to give that opportunity to others. Our new library symbolizes the belief that free and open access to information is critical to a democracy. As we gather together today, let us remember that public libraries everywhere are not only a cherished icon of American life, but that they are alive, flourishing, and vital to our future. Thank you.
Following a year of celebrations, the first year in the new library was an unqualified success. Visits to the library increased by 45%, circulation increased by 20%, and public programming attracted over 10,000 adults, teens, and children. The return of the Ezra Cornell portrait in November 2001 capped the year as donors, staff, friends, and trustees gathered to once again remember its earliest beginnings and to bear witness to the fact that Americans do love libraries and that dreams do come true.
The artist William Whitlock was 25 years old at the time he painted Cornell.
That with the continuing support of the library's friends, contributors, and patrons, and with an ongoing commitment to the spirit of its founding father, the best is yet to come.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Tompkins County Public Library, navigating a sea of resources at 101 East Green Street, downtown Ithaca. Now, more space, better access, and parking. County residents who have never used the library before getting library cards, circulation began to skyrocket. The saying, if you build it, they will come, has never been so adequately displayed as right here in the Tompkins County Public Library. During the 18 months of construction, a new roof, skylights, and solar panels were added, along with an easy-access main entrance at the corner of Cayuga and Green Streets. Convenient nearby parking and TCAT bring county residents to the library doorstep, an ideal location, a new downtown